Hey, what's up, everybody? Irish Prepper 2A here, and Remy the Wonder Dog. We just came out for a quick walk through the woods today, just putting in a few miles, contemplating things, and just trying to unwind. I did my last video about that, talking about, you just have to take time for yourself and get out and unwind. But sometimes it goes a little bit deeper than that. Specifically, I want to talk today about, being healthy and prepared for yourself. And, there's a lot of things that go into that. Your preparedness around you, your work situation, your social situation. There's so many factors that go into, keeping you healthy and prepared beyond just the, we're always out here talking about running and gunning and, how are my food preps going, 10,000 different ways to make a fire. But, there's a lot of more things that go into that I think we neglect. And that is the human factor that, takes part of so many of us. Now, and how do I want to lead into this? As you prepare yourself and you try to help people along the way, some people are just not receptive to that help. Calm down, Bible. Calm down. There's a lot of animals running around out here today, so he's a little bit skittish. Some people are just not, as I said, just not receptive to the help that you're offering. And as I said, it doesn't always have to be about preparing survival. It's in everyday life. You could be trying to help an alcoholic. You could be trying to help a drug addict. You could be trying to help somebody that is, suffering from, a, minor mental breakdown, which that actually should be left up to the professionals. You can only do so much unless you're a professional. I don't know who's all watching these videos. If you guys have those skills, kudos. God love you. But, there comes a time when you can only do so much to help somebody, and they will just not be receptive to your help. And that's the time where you need to make a decision. Do I keep anguishing myself going down this dead-end road? Or is it time for me to just sever the tie and let social Darwinism take its course? And I know that sounds crass, and there's a lot of people out there that won't like this, but sometimes it just goes beyond what what anybody can provide. You've done your best, you're at your wit's end, there's nothing else you can do. You've tried and tried, but this person just will not heed your advice, take your warnings. Remy, calm down, please. Oh my goodness, he's a handful, but I wouldn't have it any other way. But yeah, there comes a time when, people will just not heed your warnings, and, it just gets to a point that they're, they have the blinders on, they're focused, and they see nothing else. Kenny Rogers once said in one of his songs, you have to know when to fold them. And, let this go to the next level and see what happens. You can try your best to help people, educate people, save people, but sometimes You know, sometimes it just gets to the point that people are too far gone to be saved. And that's a shame. It should be, we have a never quit attitude. And, I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer in don't quit, don't give up. But, at the end of the day, I think Remy gave up. But at the end of the day, when it starts affecting you and dragging you down as well, you have to sever that tie and not let it get to you anymore. Adults, we're free to make our own decisions, and you just have to let it go. There's nothing more you can do. You've tried your best, but somebody once said, if that's your best, then your best won't do. And I know this is a somber video, guys. I apologize, but it just reflects some of the things going on actually in my life right now. That despite trying my best efforts, it wasn't good enough. So, I hope somebody took something from this video and can use it to your advantage. Until then, Irish Prepper 2A and Remy, the social butterfly here, we're going to get back on the trail and head out and see if we can get some of his anticipation. As I said, some people you can help, and some people won't help themselves. Case in point. You just won't give it up, will you, buddy? All right, guys, Irish Prepper 2A and Remy, we're signing off. I hope you all have a blessed day. Stay safe.